So far, but here we are. I don't want to talk about some nice stuff about AI. We are here to talk about some challenging stuff today. Some um, downfalls. We all encountered some wrong answers when you use ChatGPT, Copilot, Bard, or anything else. Some these AI tools, and we call those things a hallucination. And it was okay, it was some chat, but we wanted to gather some information. We wanted to look for some stuffs, and we asked that AI model once again. We provided more info, more text, and to get some better results without any hallucination. But today we saw lots of companies here. They are building products based on AI. Some of them add AI as a feature, and some of them building some products based on AI from ground up. And hallucination in those scenarios seems more critical. They are building some products that need to take some actions based on these AI responses. It's not only about answering some question anymore. It's about taking some actions, making some decisions based on these AI outputs and AI responses. And but in we need to say that most of them are building products based on OpenAI API,
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not the case here. It's AI. Farbod, tell me about this AI hallucination. What is it in simple terms?
Yeah, AI hallucination, it's a problematic subject and also an exciting one. AI hallucination is when an AI system sees patterns in data that aren't actually there. It's happening to humans as well. When you look up the sky, you see a cloud and you say that's a rabbit. There is not a rabbit in there. You just you want to see that
You,
pattern.
you had a background about
Yeah,
a rabbit, and you
you
saw
want to see it.
a cloud, and it's a rabbit.
Yeah, but AI, that happens to AI as well. It sees patterns that aren't actually there. It generate or return responses that we don't want. It actually makes some kind of maybe weird for us, or sometimes it's very problematic for us to see this kind of
Sometimes they are
patterns.
very funny.
Yeah,
They become
yeah,
some memes in Twitter, Reddit,
yeah.
or
They
the
are funny, but
yeah.
also can be problematic. Yeah.
Yeah. Farbod, when we talk about these, first of all, we are not talking about some regular software bugs. When you see when something doesn't work in a software, we call it a bug, for example, or something in a wrong way. It's something else.
Yeah, yeah,
In AI,
exactly.
it's something hallucination. It's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else.
it's not a bug. Actually, that's not how bugs work. It's not a regular code bug. AI hallucination is actually more difficult to detect. It's something that happens, and actually, maybe you say that code is working fine, but the result is not what you want. The result is something very weird. For example, you'd see a person with 4 arms. That's not a usual thing to see.
Yeah.
That's a pattern that
It's
AI sees.
it's a proper stuff to share it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
LinkedIn or it's your
yeah.
Instagram.
That's very weird, and it can be problematic in some other fields. It's not a bug, but it's a problem.
Yeah. When I face this hallucination term, we face these hallucinations mostly in chatbots and some image generation tools like Midjourney, Dolly, or some kind of
Yeah.
some other stuffs. But is it limited to these LLMs or generative AI or transformers, or is it something general about AI?
No, it's not actually limited to NLP or large language models or maybe computer vision. It's a concept in all of AI. Maybe someone call it phantom patterns or uh, more details. It's sometimes called overfitting. It's the problem that happens in machine learning and deep learning. The most of AIs that we know, it's actually deep learning that's these
So
days.
it
Yeah.
feels like it's in nature. It's
Yeah.
in nature of AI.
Yeah, actually, deep learning it's something that gets the data, see the pattern, and return a result. It's actually a black box for most of people, and
Yeah, the black
it's
box.
hard to see the process that's happening in there, and that's because it's generating
Yeah,
AI
no,
hallucination.
you mentioned it's something complicated.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
because it's different from regular programs
yeah, yeah.
that we had before, that we see before. But so can we say some main cause for this hallucination? Is there any main cause, or can you describe to me if or is the result of too many stuffs?
Yeah, yeah.
Not one reason. There is not only one reason here.
Yeah, yeah, it's happening for various reasons, but the main reason usually is overfitting. It's a concept in yeah.
I don't know this overfitting that you are talking about. Can you describe to me a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
more about? Can you talk to me about?
In deep learning, when we give the data to a model, it's actually trained on that data. Overfitting, it's when we give some subject of data very much. For example, there are 10,000 pictures of cat and only 100 pictures of dogs. This model is going to learn only about cats. It's going to be
It's
focused
obvious.
on cats. Yeah, that's what overthinking is. It's not a general model. It's only focused
Somehow it's
on
like
some.
data bias,
Yeah, yeah. It's exactly a data bias, and it can be prevented in some ways, but there are some
Talking
methods.
about
Yeah,
preventing, is it something that we can completely prevent, with good coding or with good data? Or is it something that we have to work on it, just make it limited,
yeah, yeah. Exactly. It's a responsibility for the AI engineer or data engineer to see see these kind of problems. We can't prevent it completely, but we can prevent it to very good limits. For example, there are methods called dropout or regularization that we install on our models, and they're going to control the generalization of our model. It's going to be a more general uh, model, and it's going to generate better and better results. Actually, the data is very important. We need to analyze our data. We need to see to it to have a more general data and more and better quality of data that we can train on those kind of models. Yeah.
um, okay, it feels like a solution, but it's obviously have an effect on performance. It's you added another level of verification to these AI models. It's a software. You is either is generates the result without no verification, and it seems like we added some verification. It
Yeah.
has some effects on performance.
Yeah, compared to the deep learning models, the dropout and regularization, it's actually very cheap in performance. This is something we have to do because sometimes this performance can be dangerous and sometimes very problematic. For example, if a system relies on the
There's a bias here. We
yeah,
have to choose between the
yeah,
performance and
actually
the critical
exactly
situation.
depend on the application of your model. Sometimes it's being funny, it's very good. You can have a language model that gives you funny answers and it's really fun. But sometimes in a field like medical imaging or industrial usage, the wrong answer can be very dangerous, can be very problematic, and can cause a lot of different problems that we should avoid actually.
you know mm, in your speech, I heard the word data.
Yeah,
When we talk about these AI models, everyone is talking about wanting data, the quality and the quantity of the data that we give our model, and we train our model based on those
yeah,
data.
exactly.
Uh, I think that it is something that this data can cause, and we can work with these data that we give these AI models?
Yeah, actually, they call these days the age of data. That's the reason we call it, because we really need those kind of data. The quality of data, the quantity of data is very important. The rise of deep learning and this kind of magnificent AI that we see is because the rise of more and more data. There are a lot of data. Actually, there are very good researchers that are working on creating data sets, and it's very important. It can prevent AI hallucination. It can give us better and better answers, and also the it's a responsibility for AI engineer to see the data, to analyze the data, and don't just accept any data. You have to make sure the quality is good, and also the quantity. You have to
We
have enough data.
we
Yeah,
we will talk about these ethical stuffs in this hallucination area, but I want to ask you something else. When you said to me about ways to prevent this AI hallucination, you mentioned some stuff, some things that we can do with to make these hallucinations less, okay? And most of them with were about verification for those AI responses.
yeah,
And and it seems like it's okay when we are talking about some specific made AI. For example, we made an AI for answering only industrial automation questions.
yeah.
And it won't be general, it's not something that we can work on a general
Yeah,
AI.
yeah, exactly. The detection of this kind of hallucination, it's really hard. In some minor application, you can see the AI hallucination, but if you have more and more data, actually you don't have the time to see all the data. Maybe you have 1 million data, you can't see each one of them. There are methods to detect this kind of problems. For example, validation. A good data model always should have a
Sam
validation
Altman,
data. Yeah,
Google, and the other big
yeah,
guys
yeah,
are working on this stuff
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly. They are working on it every day. As I said, the good data set should have a validation data. They should test this data with the training data, and they should analyze it. The Googles, all the big companies actually doing this. They are very concerned with this kind of problems, and I want to say sometimes it's getting really harder and harder in generative data models and
Yes.
transformers. It's sometimes generate an image or a text that is good with validation data, but when a human reads it, it's really funny, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a very important question. When I ask ChatGPT some stuff about embedded system or industrial automation, these are my field.
yeah,
I have some good understanding and a good background in these areas. So if ChatGPT gives me a wrong answer, I would probably find out. I will try to ask again. I will try to provide some more text
yeah,
or some prompt engineering techniques to help it gives me a proper answer. But there are some scenarios. We are talking about some challenging
yeah,
stuff. For example, if I ask ChatGPT about something that I don't have any background about it, and I want to trust this response. And one other scenario, we are. I told you about making action
yeah,
based on AI responses and making action without any supervisor.
yeah, yeah,
In these AI gadgets that has released lately, for example, they want me to ask an AI gadget to take a taxi.
yeah.
It's a very serious
I
stuff. I
understand.
don't want to go to wrong destination.
Yeah,
Uh, is it some way to detect that there is a hallucination Is there any obvious thing? Is it obvious to find out if these AI models are occurred hallucination or not?
Not always. We can't always detect this kind of hallucinations. It's getting better. The methods that we can test this kind of models are getting better and better. As I said, the validation, and there are some other techniques like Lime. I think it's for l- local inter. I don't really
Maybe in
remember. Yes,
GPT-5,
yeah, I think they are working on it, and I think it's going to get better and better. But the humans and the AI engineers have a very big part in solving these kind of problems. They have to see it themselves, and they have to actually the post processing of data can be very important to this kind of models. They need to change the result of AI so it's become less dangerous, it's become less problematic, and people can work with it.
Yeah, yeah. In, maybe in the day that they
Yeah,
introduced finally we have AGI,
yeah, yeah,
and it would be probably fixed by that day, maybe. I told you before that Sam Altman and the other guys are probably working hard on it,
yeah,
and who can say in few years what we can achieve.
yeah, exactly.
And you told me about some ethical consideration. When we talk about AI, ethical is one of the most important things here. We are talking about generating stuffs. We are talking about generating some stuffs that may feels like real, but there is a twist here. What about this hallucination? What about this hallucination and ethical consideration about these hallucinations?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I want to give you an example. For example, when you see a weird image in the Mid Journey or Dali, it's just funny. It's not the problem. Yeah.
No problem.
But in some other fields, for example, in medical imaging, it can be very problematic. It can have false negative or false positive result. You can tell a patient that he has cancer based on AI, but he doesn't actually, or vice versa. Maybe you tell them they don't have a cancer, but actually they are growing
Wrong
a, yeah,
information
yeah,
itself is the
it's
important
dangerous.
stuff. If I get
There
something
are
wrong,
Yeah, yeah.
it's important.
In industrial automation, the response is very important. They are relying on your AI to give the response. Maybe something blows up, maybe a lot of people dies. That's very dangerous. Also, there is a new field in AI called ethical AI. uh, Sometimes AI, the very good example for this kind of ethical AIs are something called racist AI. They are training this kind of AI on some focused part of internet, and the AI becoming racist is give some racist answers. They really fixed it. The Google fixed it. The OpenAI trying to fix
No,
it.
it's about its nature.
Yeah,
After all, it's something different from before.
yeah, it's a new thing. I want to say it's a beautiful thing, but it's also can be dangerous. And I think we need more AI. We need more AI experts, but it's a really
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah, but
thing.
it's something important. For example, someone like me, it's very important for me because I always look out for new AI tools and new AI techniques. And to do something, I want to brainstorm. I want to brainstorm what products can we build based on these new AI inventions. And if or sometimes the product that I'm thinking about right now is not doable right now because of some limitation, for example, hallucinations. And it's important to me that to know what level this hallucination can be fixed in future. Can I brainstorm about a system based on AI that takes some serious decisions. I want to
Yeah.
know the future about this AI hallucination.
Yeah, AI hallucination actually happening right now. It's something we have to deal with, but in the future I think it's going to improve very good. uh, for example, a few years ago no one could see ChatGPT, but now everyone like it, everyone like to use it. The ethical AI
And
and
AI specialist
yeah,
like you must be must be optimistic about this.
I really like AI. It's a really
Yeah,
good
yeah.
field. It's the best thing I think we can think about right now in this day and age. But we have to also think about its problems.
Almost every big tech company is working on
Yeah,
these AI tools, and
y-
obviously it would be better in future. It would be more
yeah, they are
reliable.
going to fix it. Today, most these companies are actually fixing this kind of problems, ethical AI, because it's going to have a this result of AI going to have a effect on the people that using it. It's going to improve and improve. Actually, the more data we're gathering these days, the better the AI is going to be. The architecture are getting better and better and more
Some
complex.
companies
Yeah,
are using generative AI to generate some new data to generate
yeah,
to train their model based on that.
yeah. That's it, the thing actually.
You know,
But
this system is helping itself. You know,
yeah, that's
sometimes.
the thing that they can do actually. They creating data to generate they're generating data to train other models. But with the rise of generative AI and
Uh,
transformers, the AI hallucination actually getting harder and harder to detect, because sometimes the data is correct, you are seeing a human, but you can't actually see that it has four hands, you can't see the weird
yeah,
faces. We have to work harder, and we need more AI system and more AI company in my
and
mind.
I think our responses,
Yeah,
day to day, they are gathering more and more information, more and more responses based on our thought.
yeah,
It in several times there was some situation that I told ChatGPT, no, it's not a correct answer,
yeah,
no
yeah,
correct that, or I rewrote those prompts,
yeah.
and there is lots of responses from us.
Yeah, the feedback that people are giving are very important. Actually, people don't understand how important this kind of feedback can be. They can actually improve data, improve the AI models very efficiently. They can have more and more data based on this kind of feedbacks. And I, as I said, the more data, the better the model will going to
Next
be.
generation of these AI gadgets would be better, I think.
Yeah,
Would be,
exactly.
I, we need to be realistic. You know, I saw the problem with these new AI gadgets. They didn't give us a realistic view of what AI
Yeah.
can do. AI can do lots of stuff, but we need to be realistic about that. It was a little too soon, and somehow it spoiled it.
Most people wasn't ready for AI. It was a shock for most people. But the more people are getting interested in AI, the problems are getting less and less. And I think we are going to have a very good time with AI. It's going to help us in various
And I
places.
think
Yeah,
in near future we will going to see some great products
yeah, exactly.
with you and your team.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next time I promise you we are going to talk about some good stuff
Yeah.
about the AI, not some challenging stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me. But we have to talk about the good things and
Yeah,
also the problems.
the
Sometimes
realistic
problems,
point of view
yeah,
is all that matters right now.
sometimes problems in AI help us to improve the AI. As I said, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.